Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today, we're gonna do another builds and tips, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So today we're checking supporters and weapons that help us with super armor break. There's a handful of them, and we're gonna analyze which synergies you want to take into consideration when using them, and I'm gonna show you how to use them in conjunction to some degree. So, starting with the first supporter that allow us to break super armor, and that's gonna be, where is it? Oh, here. That's gonna be Draconic Soup. Draconic Soup was built in a different age, and it certainly hasn't aged well. But there are some advantages. So, her active says, sends a draconic wave ahead, deals damage, and removes the super armor of the enemy. On a 40-second cooldown, that's pretty good. Normally, you would think that pairing her with Aoi and Mitsuki would be a good idea. But honestly, it isn't. You don't want to keep the enemy with the super armor break. You want to deal damage while the enemy has the super armor break. So use damage increase paired with this one. And preferably consider that this is going to increase melee damage naturally, so you want to use this on a melee build. Then, what other options do we have? We have the infamous, White Feather Asuka. So, White Feather Asuka is going to enhance damage for machines and suppress their characters, and if you have this on the main, it has an extra passive. Skills attack remove the super armor at a 10% chance, immediately restoring 6% of lost HP. So, this is a pretty busted supporter. So busted, in fact, that characters that do not have the suppress type or the machine trait use this. Like, for example, Micah. Micah is an excellent character to use this supporter, even though it doesn't get benefit from the main passive, just because of the amount of multi-hit of her skills. Death from Above, Ruthless Explosion, and Carpet Bombing are just gonna decimate the super armor of the enemy when you have the supporter on the main. So, it doesn't matter the traits of your character, you just want a huge amount of multi-hits. Whatever character you have with multi-hits is gonna help you out. But if you want to use characters that are enhanced by this, I'm gonna show you some options. So number one, the machines, forget about them. The only reliable one is gonna be Asuka. The other ones don't have enough multi-hit on skills to use this reliably. On the other hand, for suppressed type characters, we do have options. We have, of course, Anna Rose, pretty decent with a specific build. I'm gonna show you that. Astaroth, not Astaroth, sorry, Phantasma and Astaroth, both of them summon a circle that deals multi-hit, and that's gonna be able to break the super armor. Shizuru is also a viable option, and White Feather Asuka, of course. Those are the characters that you want to use with White Feather Asuka if you want to break the super armor, and at the same time get some amount of damage increase from the supporter. Then, the next one is going to be Lightning Sonic Uriharin. This one is pretty decent, but it has limitations. So, number one, you have to be using a melee character with this one. Number two, you preferably want to use this on a human/demon team, not machines. And third, you want to use Rin, Asuma, or Anna Rose with a green supporter on your team. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to abuse this, because you want sources of electrocute. But this supporter, even though it has its own way to inflict electrocute, it takes time. So let's read it. Make melee attacks on electrocuted enemy have a 100% chance to break the super armor every 15 seconds. Increases damage dealt by 14% for each human type and demon type ally, including yourself. And the active creates an electric field that deals damage, continuous damage for 5 seconds, and Enemies hit by the field are inflicted with electrocute for 9 seconds. So if you don't use the 3 characters that I just mentioned, you have to wait 60 seconds to break the super armor. And that's not really appealing when the cooldown is only 15. So yeah, you want to use another source of electrocute. Keep that in mind. Then, the last one that we're gonna check for the supporters is going to be SE Akiyama Rinko. This one increases critical rate of machine type characters by, I think it's 32%. Yeah, 32%. Increases the critical damage of human type characters by 32%. And when the enemy super armor is destroyed, the character's skill cooldown is resetted. Activate every 20 seconds. Pretty busted effect. That's why it has a long cooldown. And that's gonna help you out dealing more damage to the enemy. Now, when the enemy super armor is destroyed, their damage taken increases by 24% for 10 seconds. Also really useful, and it doesn't have a cooldown. Lastly, the active. Swiftly slashes nearby enemy, dealing damage, continuous damage, and breaks their super armor. 59-second cooldown is not gonna allow us to abuse this, but it is still a pretty good active. And it synergizes perfectly with a super armor break build. So, anyways, let's check now the weapon. There's only one weapon that we're gonna check, and that's Valiant Sigurd. Valiant Sigurd has the ability on their active to just break the super armor. It says fire a singular bullet, deals damage, and destroy the super armor of the enemy. 5 particles, but we can do builds to abuse particle charge. Unfortunately, this weapon is pretty slow, and that's the main problem with the weapon. That you have to wait a while before you actually fire and break the super armor. And if the enemy moves just a little bit to the side, they're not gonna break the super armor. They're not gonna get their super armor break. So yeah, that's something to take into consideration. While usable, it is not the most reliable one of the bunch. So over here, very quickly, let's check this. Yeah, this one. So we're using mica. All of these builds are gonna have weapons 5 out of 5 and plus 15. If not, I'm gonna mention when it's not 4 out of 5 at 5 out of 5. But I'm gonna turn the enchantment off, and that might leave some error margins. So I might do a second try at this, but I'm gonna keep this off. So keep that in mind. And then we have anti-machine Magatamas wind element, whatever Magatamas on the subslot. We have Death from Above, Carpet Bombing, Ruthless Explosion to reduce the defense of the enemy. You can equip White Feather Aska over here because we know how good it is. But since I'm using Rinko, since I'm using this character, I want to enhance the damage a little bit more. So I'm gonna put the Rinko because it has the human damage increase multiplier. Then we have Fuyutsuki, and then we have Stella. I could change Fuyutsuki for yeah, I'm gonna change it for Susune just cause. And you can use anything honestly. Like the best option is Fuyutsuki. You can use Yukina, you can use Homura, you can use Nino, Granny. Like there's tons of options for damage increase for range on red. Here are the customs, start training. Then Rin. For Rin we have Lightning Browser at 4 out of 5. Everything again max out as much as possible. The Magatamas are gonna be Anti-Machine, Electric, whatever on the subslot, Electric Vault, Vault Spin, Denki. So Denki is something that I have to take note of. These particular enemies do a ton of range attacks, and that's why we're using Denki, because Electric Barrier is gonna give you, if I'm not mistaken, super armor against range attacks. And the thing is that this isn't the best skill for this slot. Technically it's Vault Rush, but these enemies have speed reduction immunity, so we don't use it here. But you can change Denki for Volt Rush. Keep that in mind. Then Volt Spin. Volt Spin is going to be our source of Electrocute, reliable Electrocute to break the super armor, and Electric Volt just to deal damage and take advantage of the weapon. Supporters, of course, we have Ure and we have the Founding 3, but if you are F2P, you can just equip Butler Asagi. That's another option to make you tanky. And we have over here Fuma Mane, but if you don't have a Mane, which is a permanent supporter, you can just put Arabella. Stats of the customs, stat training, and then Shizuru. For Shizuru, we have the Eye of Dawn, but if you don't have the Eye of Dawn, you can just use Goddess of Love. Even the Momochi weapon is useful on this one. Then we have the Anti-Machine Water Magatamas. This weapon is plus 14, but again the enchantment is off. Then Rose Rondo, Whip Shot, and Sprout Garden. As you notice, we don't have a healer, so we need Sprout Garden. Whip Shot because of the multi-hit, and Rose Rondo because of the weapon. Both of them are gonna give us defense reduction on the enemy, so that's also pretty good. We have White Fur Asuka. With Whip Shot, we're gonna be able to break the super armor most of the times. Not always, but most of the times. And this is also going to increase the damage. Then we have Asusa to give penetration and critical resistance down, and Susune. Lastly, stats of the customs and stat training. For the armory, we have this, and for the formations, we have Gosha R&D Division, the Mischievous One, and Evil Eyes. Enhances human, enhances damage, reduces damage taken and increased damage dealt to machines, and increases damage dealt to machines and reduces damage, increases damage dealt from machines. So, well, that's gonna be good enough. So, let's do the run. I just need to focus on the yellow and the red. And if I do so, there shouldn't be a problem. Like this. And I break the super armor constantly, focusing particularly on the yellow one. Let's see. Oops. No. Hey, stop that. Yeah, like that. Break the super armor. Break the super armor. Rin! Survive. Oh, poor Rin. Well, I tried. Oh, the yellow one is done. But Rin didn't make it. Consider that I am taking off the enchantment. So technically, this would be way easier if I was using the enchantment. But I am not. Just a little bit more damage, and that's it. What happened with the blue one? Well, it is what it is, and it's good enough. So, yeah, with enchantment, this would be easy, and ooh, nice. I wouldn't have one of my characters gone. In fact, we did good enough, because I managed to do the auto clear, so it was under a minute. That's pretty decent. Now, let's do this with demons. What are we gonna do here? We are still using Urehara Ring. Urehara Ring can only be used on a human or demon team, or a mixture of. So there's different things that you can put. For example, you can put your human team and also the Blue Felicia for healing. That would have been way better. But here I'm gonna use Lapis. Lapis with Arabella and Anna Rose. Why Anna Rose? You know it, because we have the Momochi weapon. With anti-machine leaf, wood Magatamas, whatever Magatamas of the subslot, you know the weapons max out. Gem support, piercing dash, and moral boost. Increase defense, heals the party. Pretty good. Stats of the customs. Stat training. Then we have Anna Rose. For Anna Rose, we have the Kahahirako. The speed increase is going to be important, so that's why we use it. we use the anti-machine Thunder Magatemas, whatever weapon and supporter on the subslot. Weapon and Magatemas on the subslot. And let's see. Over here, as you can see, we're going with a mixed build. And you're going to see why in a moment. Hyakuretsu-sen, which we do not care that we're not using the pure green because the enemy is immune to slow and this is only critical rate increase, so doesn't matter. Madosen to gain more speed, to have HP recovery, and we need a skill because we're using Divine Wrath. The speed increase is going to be very important because we're going to be able to change our we're going to be able to finish our basic chain and then use Divine Wrath. And Madosen is going to transition into Divine Wrath, and Hyakuretsu-sen is going to transition into Divine Wrath. And Divine Wrath is going to electrocute the enemy, which is going to allow Lapis to abuse her supporter. Then we have White Asuka. Because of the enhancements that have been done to Divine Wrath, that it summons a circle that deals continuous damage, and because of the amount of hits of Hyakuretsu-sen, we're going to be able to abuse Weather Asuka. We also increase our speed even further with Francis, and we enhance the critical with Suruga. Stats of the customs, stat training, and then we have Spinel. Spinel is going to go blue. And for that one, we're going to use the Wicked Star Cannablade. Cannablade is not important because of the anti-demon trait, but rather the damage increase on Demonic Arm Detonate. That's pretty good. The water anti-machine Magatemas, whatever weapon and Magatemas on the subslot. We have a Demonic Arm Detonate, we have Crystal Shard Burst, we have Piercing Thirst. All of these are damage increase just to have Detonate deal the most damage. Draconic Zoo. Yeah, we're going to use Draconic Zoo. Along with Blackbeard Kirara and Arabella. Again, you can change Blackbeard Kirara for something more reliable like, or well, more F2P like Fuma Amane. You can use Kana, which is a permanent supporter, and it's pretty good considering the amount of buffs that we have. I already have Arabella, so another copy cannot be done. But anyways, just equip whatever you can. Stats of the customs, stat training, and let's... Oh, yeah, these ones. Let's change this. We're going to change one, and it's this one, the human. Let's see if we have something that enhances demon. Increase damage dealt by demons. This is not that bad. Increase damage dealt. Reduce damage taken from demon. No. Increase damage dealt to demon. No. Reduce from. No. I guess like making a splash is good enough. Yeah, just making a splash. The only difference. And now, let's do this one. So, I'm going to just do 1, do 2, and do 3. And I deal damage. And I break the super armor with the active 2. Yeah. Basically, we let everyone else deal with the super armor. I'm just gonna be using my skills to deal damage. And thankfully, even though we don't have as much control, we have just enough to make this pretty easy. And not to mention that we have reliable healing on this team. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, we break the super armor. And that's going to increase the damage. Nice. Okay, good healing. Pretty good healing. You saw how Lapis was about to die? I love this amount of healing. Unlike the previous team. Yeah, just like this. Done. Let's see. I'm not gonna be able to use my ultimate, but that's fine. There. Done. And that's it. Now, we have one more build that we're gonna check, and that's gonna be the build for tower. On tower, we're gonna be using. Where is she? Mirabelle. We're gonna be using Mirabelle. Why Mirabelle? Because we have the weapon. We're gonna take advantage of the weapon. So for this one, range critical damage increase with let's say red. Yeah, good enough. Whatever, attack Magatamas on the subslot. Like this. Good, good, good. So, weapon 5 out of 5 plus 14 and weapon 3 out of 5 plus 15. So none of that's gonna change. But in the meantime, we're using this. And we're gonna go green. So that means we're using fire support, we're also using spread shot, and we're using... no, wait a moment. I'm gonna change fire support for... no, I don't wanna. I wanted to use spread shot, but I'll have to change it for blitzkrieg. And I'm gonna use full metal jacket. And that's it. Yeah, HP recovery, huge damage, and particle charge increase. So, why do we care? Because we use... where is it? We use God Micah. We use... where is it? Yeah, Tomoe. And lastly, we use this one, the best. This is going to allow us to abuse the... Oh, wait, but that means I don't have the... it's still decent damage, honestly. It's not that bad. Even though it doesn't have the multiplier, it's gonna be decent damage. So, yeah. Oh, and we can go even further beyond by just increasing particle charge with other effects. So, where is... damage increased by 3% for every 3 particles that you have. Particle charge amount from attack reduced by 50. No, I want increase. Where is the particle charge increase? Increase particle charge speed by 20%. Increase damage dealt with the ultimate. Particle charge. Are these the only two? Increase damage dealt to machine type enemies. And increase particle charge speed by 25. Let's do it. Why not? Okay. No, I'm not gonna do this one. I'm gonna go like 20 down. Not 20 down, just 10 down. Because I don't want to deal with invincibility. And just like that. Done. You see how slow that is? That's the issue. Yeah, I don't like the speed that how fast it deals the attack. We can abuse it, but not my cup of tea. And honestly, it deals pretty decent damage. But okay, break super armor. And just like that, I'm gonna keep the enemy in place. Break super armor. Well, at least it auto targets. But it has happened to me that the enemy just gets away or gets invincibility, and well, it is a little bit inconvenient. Oh God, I missed. I just need to charge a little bit more, Done. There you go. Yeah, it deals decent damage, for sure. Oh yeah, it would be nice to just heal, right? Like this. And the good thing is that it does have a certain degree of super armor. It can take a hit. So, yeah, even though the animation is long, it's not useless. So, would you say this is good? Do you think like this weapon is usable? I used to think it was good because I didn't know how slow it was. It can be abused, sure, like with a build like this one, on a stage like this one, but on a different one, it's not exactly reliable. Wow. Let's see. There. Done. I just need, like, if there's too much damage, I would struggle. And not only that, if there were more enemies, if I needed to deal even more damage because of the amount of damage reduction that an enemy has this would not be that reliable. Like, usually the damage multipliers of the skills is gonna be more effective than the one of the weapons. Honestly, I'm glad that I took the particle charge effects of the formation effects, because I expected this to charge even faster, honestly. I don't know why it's so slow. Well, I guess because she is very fast on her attack speed. Maybe that's why. But other characters like charge way faster. Like Kurene, she charges really, really fast. Oh, okay, like this. And I'm just going to use the active of my supporter to charge fast, fast, fast. And then I use this one. Oh! I didn't hit Lina. There. Nice, nice, nice. So it is usable, for sure. In solo content, it's not that bad. In team content, on the other hand, where the enemy is going to go after a different target and won't come near you, you might miss. There. So take that into consideration. Here, it looks pretty good because I'm the only target. But on VR, nah, it's prone to miss. So, yeah, that's the thing. Well, anyways, what do you think about all of these? Do you find this useful? Do you think these supporters and weapon are good? Do you think that the strategies that revolve around breaking the super armor are useful nowadays? Let me know in the comments which are the best characters to use with their Asuka. Let me know if you know other combinations, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!